So I want to get back into some of those kind of deeper psychological, emotional topics that I got into on my channel back when coronavirus first started in, I guess it was April. And not too deep in terms of getting away from sync licensing. Don't worry, this is going to be 100% focused on sync licensing. But this has been just a topic that's been bubbling up in my life, personal life lately. And I think as I've been reflecting on it, I'm realizing that it's so applicable to all of you that are getting involved in sync licensing, and why it's just about how your mindset makes all the difference. And this is why I dove so deeply into that Sync Psych course that I recently released, because the psychological stuff really makes all the difference in terms of everything. Like literally how successful you're going to be in life, how far you're going to go in this business, everything. It really comes down to a choice of the perspective of how you see things, how you see yourself, how you see the career that you're embarking upon, how you see the industry, how you see the changes happening in the world, right? And this big thing that's been bubbling up in my personal life lately has been gratitude. And not gratitude for the things that are easy to be grateful for, okay? I'm not talking about being grateful that, the other night I had some delicious ice cream. That's easy to be grateful for. Ice cream tastes really good. It's enjoyable, right? I'm talking about being grateful for the hard things in my life. That's what's really been going through my head lately. That I've gone through a lot of personal inner struggles this last year and through all of my life, basically. But throughout all of those struggles, realizing that because I suffered, because I went through so many, I was under so much pressure, it allowed me to grow. It's like I needed all of that pain and that pressure and that just forcing myself to kind of reevaluate everything about myself. I needed all of that to be able to move to the next phase of my life, right? To become more self-aware, to grow, to kind of strengthen myself. I recently heard that butterflies, when they get into the cocoon, that they really, really have to struggle to get out of that cocoon. It's not just a sort of like, all right, I'm out. They really have to struggle and fight and break apart, and it's a lot of pain, actually. It's a lot of hard, intense pain for them. And people have found that when you just go rip open that cocoon before they've really gone through that struggling process, they die. They actually can't fly. They can't thrive, because it's in that struggle, being in the cocoon of fighting and trying to get out, that they actually are strengthening themselves. They're strengthening their wings. They're strengthening whatever. I guess they have muscles, tiny little muscles, whatever they got. They're strengthening themselves to be able to actually thrive when they get out of the cocoon. And same thing in my personal life. I've been under in my own cocoon, basically, and I've been really struggling in it and figuring out where I am and why I'm going through all this stuff, and what kind of a person do I want to be moving forward. And obviously becoming a father, that obviously is what's highlighting all of this in my life right now, and basically kind of trying to clean up my own messes essentially in life and try to become much more present to everybody in my life, to myself. And all of this is basically has come through under a lot of pressure for myself, right? Now, what does this have to do with sync licensing? It kind of seems crazy, right? Well, I know almost every single one of you guys suffer in some way with sync licensing. No matter where you are, you could be brand new to this, you could be at this for many years, and you could already be getting placements and royalties. You're still suffering on some level, right? There's something about what you're doing that still doesn't quite feel 100% awesome to you, right? So you're struggling because you haven't even put together your first album yet, and just the daunting idea of putting together 12 tracks that are high quality, that just seems like I don't know if I'll be able to do that, right? That could be really a struggling point for you. That could be really difficult for you to even wrap your head around that. Or maybe you've got that album and you're thinking about pitching it to a library, but then there's that fear paralyzing you. Well, I don't know if they're going to like it, and what if they all reject me, and because I don't want to send it to them, because if they all reject me, then that's a confirmation that I just wasted the last couple of months of my life producing this album. And all of those thoughts are creeping in there, right? I know about those thoughts as well. Maybe you're working with a library and you're getting some placements, but you're like, could I get more? Or maybe you're not getting any placements with the library and you're like, well, what's going on? Are they just like, they forget that I exist? Has this all been a waste of time? So no matter where you are, you're struggling, you're suffering. There's something going on that's not feeling good, and you're in your cocoon, and you're basically battling out with your wings, trying to get out of that cocoon to the place where you can thrive in this industry, no matter what stage of it you're in, okay? So I hope that's resonating with you, that you do feel that I'm speaking to you directly about your struggles, whatever they might be, okay? So gratitude, how does gratitude work into all this? Well, for me, I'm faking it until I make it. I'm not going to say that I've willingly decided, or I wouldn't say that it naturally came up to me, that I've been very thankful for all the personal, or grateful for all the sort of strife and the hardships that I've been going through lately. But I am saying to myself that I'm grateful for it, and I'm writing down that I'm grateful for it, and I'm basically trying to affirm myself. I'm trying to use affirmations to put myself in a position to start to see it in a different perspective, to see my struggles in a different way and not see them as a negative thing for myself, but to actually be thankful for them. And also to be simultaneously, bummed out about it and thankful. Like, that can be possible. You can actually have two conflicting emotions about your struggle, and it's certainly possible to do that. And so I'm realizing that I can actually look at all of the pain of my past, of my present, of even worries about the future, about anything. And I can actually be grateful for all of it. There's a way to perceive all of that, to realize that that is a part of my journey. That's what's basically helping myself to strengthen my wings, to grow my awareness, to grow myself, to become a better, educator, father, friend, brother, son, whatever it is, whatever my role is for what I'm talking about. These are all opportunities. These are all gifts, right? All this struggle, all this pain, all this stuff that we go through, these are actually, if you want to see them this way, they are actually gifts. They're basically like your own personal university in your own personal life, giving you the lessons you need to go to that next level of your life. Maybe you've never thought about your struggles this way. Maybe you've never thought about your pain this way. You never thought about your fears and your doubts. You never thought about them in an actual positive light, that they could actually be doing something beneficial for you. But I encourage you to start entertaining this idea. It is doing wonders for me. It's completely changing everything about how I perceive life and how I perceive even my past, even my even things that others have done that have wronged me. Trying to change even how I see those, that those were not bad things for my life. Those were opportunities. Those were gifts. Those taught me things, right? So I'm actually trying to go through a lot of things that I've maybe been carrying around personally, holding on to a lot of that negativity and a lot of that judgment, and trying to see it in just a brand new light. So I'm not saying you got to do this on a personal level. You make your own choices how you want to do that. But definitely when it comes down to sync licensing, that is what my business here on YouTube is. And I think those of you that subscribe and follow along, you guys are looking at me in terms of somebody that can guide you through to something better in sync licensing. I'm sorry if you hear my dog, she's going nuts because probably a squirrel ran by, who knows. And I want you guys to just be able to be open to other perspectives of struggle, right? Because it doesn't matter that it's sync licensing that we're struggling with. This can be applied to literally everything that you're struggling with in your life. And since we do talk about sync licensing here, we might as well try to start to apply that here. So this is already going to be a new tutorial that I'm going to add to the Sync Psych series. As I told you guys before, we add to that list of tutorials because this is kind of like a never-ending topic. We can basically go into so many different cool, interesting places when we talk about what's going on psychologically, why we sometimes are our own worst enemies, why is our thinking usually the first thing that gets in our ways to getting to full-time income, or partnering with a library, or finishing that album. It's always what's going on between the ears that actually stops us most of the time. So this has been one of the cool things that I've been just playing with lately, just kind of one of these ideas or revelations that are really starting to make a difference for me personally. And I absolutely just believe that this could be useful for everybody in whatever aspect of life they're in. So I challenge you, give it a shot, try to, next time you are really struggling with this, really in that dark place, in struggling with fear, with doubt, like, am I going to make it? Is this really going to work out for me with sync licensing? Try to perceive that as a gift. Because what it's doing is it's teaching you patience. It's teaching you perseverance. It's teaching you how to get a game plan together, how to set goals for yourself, how to achieve those goals, how to basically plan out how you're going to keep yourself productive and motivated. So see it as an opportunity, because I absolutely believe it can be. I'm not saying actually that, I want to be clear on this. I'm not saying that it is, like, objectively, that every bit of pain or strife that we go through is a gift. I'm saying you can decide to see it that way, and it becomes that for yourself. So just like with Henry Ford, whether or not you believe you can or can't, either way you're right. Same thing with this. You can believe that your struggles and your pains and the hardships that you go through are just negative and horrible, and they're painful, and they're just holding you down, and they're making it harder. You can see them that way, and when you see them that way, that's what they become. They become your anchor. They hold you down. They weigh you down. They make it harder to succeed. You could also look at them as a gift. They could be something that's teaching you something. They could be an opportunity for you to grow and to become more professional, become a better producer, become more patient, whatever that thing is. And you see this as like, wow, I'm so thankful that I had to wait this long to get to royalties or whatever it is, right? Because without that, I don't know if I would have learned about long-term patience. Like, this is actually a gift for me. I've actually learned this incredible skill that's going to serve me well into my life. So it's a choice. It's all up here. It's totally crazy. You do create your own reality. You can absolutely create your own trajectory in life in many ways, right? So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Thank you so much. Leave me your comments below. What do you guys think about this? Is this hogwash to you? Does this make any sense? Am I stumbling into something that you think is kind of resonating? Do you feel that this is actually a worthwhile strategy? And if you feel so, or if you've already actually gotten some great results thinking about your life this way, leave it below. I'd love to read those stories.